it's me, Cici, and welcome back to the Loose Ends Podcast, the show where we weave in the loose ends in our work and in our lives. Today's theme is pride, and I have a slideshow. I don't know where it is on the screen. I have it pulled up right there. I could technically pull it up in OBS. Don't want to. You're also going to hear a lot of cars driving by because I'm also in a new space. There's a lot going on. However, the slideshow was inspired by Hugh Tated because they did a live stream where they had a slideshow and gave out their opinions, and that's exactly what I'm doing today. So if you want more of that, make sure to follow Inky Tomato on Twitch and possibly YouTube and anywhere else where media is created. Today we are making a pot holder, and this really has nothing to do with pride. It's really more for my new space and my new kitchen than it is for anything else. Could I just buy a pot holder? Yes. Do I want to buy a pot holder? No, because I want to make something fun. I'm gonna be using the star stitch today, which I may or may not mess up because it's a very new stitch for me. So there's probably gonna be a lot of stops and starts, but we are gonna get through this. I'm also wearing long nails today because I've always wanted to be one of those crochet girlies with like the pretty nails that they show off like as they're doing their work. So look at my nails. They are pride themed. I got them at CVS for $12. Any hoozles, what is on the pride agenda for today? First of all, what am I? What's my positionality? What letter of the alphabet mafia am I representing? Number 2, kind of spoiler alert for the first part, but by pride. Number 3, intersectionality. Bringing other identities into this. Number 4, no really, what am I? That's going to be interesting. Conclusion is number 6. So the way that I like to think about sexuality and gender is kind of on less of a spectrum and more of on a chart, like the same way that you would use like a color picker in like a, what's the word? Like a software where you edit photos. Photo editing software? Is that really what it's called? I don't know, but the analogy here is that the hue is on either end of the spectrum horizontally, and the brightness or darkness is on the vertical end of the spectrum. So, looking at this, I'm kind of in the middle as far as brightness and darkness, so I'm not asexual, but my attraction kind of spans across the board. I did not have time to put a slide about this in here, but I do technically have 3 types that kind of correlate with these little boxes that you see here that represent me. Type number 1, artsy. Not like other girls, likes plants, likes gaming, maybe hiking too, reading, probably buy bonus points if they're in film. Number 2, kind of lands you in the middle. I like to call this the 1 cigarette away from dying androgynous type. And number 3 is a pinch unfortunate because I find them very, 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 very attractive. But that is every once in a while a very, very, very masculine man. Problem with this one, I usually have trouble connecting with them because they are very much in their toxic masculine feels. So unfortunately, I tend to ignore that type and go for the other 2 on the other side of the spectrum, which is awesome, and it's a beautiful thing. Now the closest label to that I have found is... Oh, I forgot about this slide. I'm going to be real with you. We're going to skip this part for now and talk more about bi pride, because that is the label that I tend to use. I am under the bi umbrella. I did consider myself to be pansexual for a little while, but honestly, I switched because I like the flag colors better. And that is one of the many pros of being bisexual. I feel like the bi pride colors and the lesbian pride colors are like the perfect pride flag colors. I love them so much. I think that they're so pretty. I love the bi pride flag. Oh, this is turning out to be a lot smaller than I thought it would. It's just like shrinking up a lot. Okay, I gotta undo and redo this. Some of the other things that I absolutely love about being bisexual is getting to flirt with everyone. I'm not a big flirter, but I could if I wanted to. I also have an ongoing joke that I am collecting the genders like Pokemon, which I feel like is a little bit bad if you think about it too hard, but it's fun because it's like, yeah, look at all of these genders I've collected. Like, I've dated all the genders, non-binary, woman, man. Now, the cons of being bisexual are kind of bummy and something that I've really only started to discover now that I am dating cis monosexual I guess that's what it would be called. People that aren't bi or pan. And it's mostly just, they can be a little bit biphobic sometimes. I have a very, very long page of commenter notes for this specific slide because, my goodness, I have been having some shower thoughts. Some things that I have heard as of late are, it's just a phase, you're gonna come out as straight or gay eventually. That is less from people in my life and more from people on the internet, but still is worth mentioning. What are those straight people doing at Pride? No, truly, like when I was dating a man, it was wild. I felt like so disconnected from the gays. It was brutal. And then this isn't something that I've actually heard, but just like the vibes that I got from my ex-boyfriend. So you're actually straight, but just kind of want to kiss women a little bit, but not enough to marry them. So really you're straight and I don't have to worry about women or see them as threatening. That, yeah. Just kind of icky vibes in general. Ooh, and then here's one that rubs me the wrong way quite a bit. Straight presenting couples aren't really gay because cis-het privilege, which is like, okay, I get it. But one of the weird shower thoughts that I have had, and I don't know if I even 100% agree with this, but it is just a counter argument that I have a counter argument for, but I'll just read it out to you because it's kind of a paragraph. Quote, so like hypothetically, as far as gender roles within the relationship and perception from the outside are concerned, why are femme and butch relationships embraced by the alphabet mafia, but not, let's say, bi and trans or bi and bi? Het presenting relationships. Like, I know part of it is that the butch is still gonna get flack for being a woman and not conforming to cis het woman things, and some people might see it as a lesbian relationship from the outside, but a lot of people won't. I bet if a femme brought another femme back home versus a butch, the mom is gonna love the butch more because it's more like the son that she imagined for her baby girl, and she would have a similar reaction to a boy who also happens to like boys, or a boy that wasn't born with a dick. Anyways, I'm so fucking tired of having to try to win the fucking gay contest. Like, why do I have to get a certain gay score in order to be accepted into what's supposed to be the most accepting community in the whole fucking universe? Especially like the winning the gay contest thing is something that I've realized a lot recently. Like, if you don't meet a certain threshold of gayness, that people aren't gonna like seeing you at Pride. I love being gay. My water glass is empty. This is fine. And this all brings us to our next section, which is intersectionality, or why we still need Pride. So this is just a cute little chart that I made about the rights and privileges that different groups experience and enjoy, or don't enjoy, as it would just so happen. And this list is kind of looking at things more intersectionally. Like, all of the question marks are like, technically yes, but like not really. Like, gay marriage could be on the chopping block. It's 2025 for anyone who is looking at this in the future. We do have a current administration that kind of hates gay and trans people, so like it could be on the chopping block. Right now it's not, but it could be, and in other places they don't have that. And I put some question marks next to like the straight people or Team S not having accurate docs, because I was like, oh, well, if you're a woman who's getting married to a man, but you're a cis-het woman, then you might have to like change your name, and it's gonna be a fucking hassle to change all of that legally. So I put some things like that on there. Take a minute, soak it in, bask in the glory of whatever privileges you have. And here's a less intersectional one with fewer question marks. And like, okay, I get it. Technically, if you're bi and you're dating a man, you don't have to worry about like things like marriage and stuff. And I understand that that is one of the privileges that the lesbians and the other gays, I guess, are talking about when they're talking about bi privilege. And it's like, okay, yes, I get it. But at the same time, like, we might not have that privilege. It's something that we have to think about. We might have to go back in the closet in order to keep ourselves safe and never, like, experience what it's like to date a woman. We might also be afraid to, like, bring our partners home. Like, that's one thing that when I've been dating a woman, she has been really scared about. But when I was dating a man, there was not a single thought about that. There was not a single thought about PDA, and this brings us to our next slide, actually, because it was crazy how disgustingly, like, safe and privileged I felt, and going back to dating women. By the way, I'm never dating men again unless I find a very incredible, unique man. But going back to dating women after experiencing that straight privilege was absurd. And I realized that I'm kind of entirely ruining that first point from the whole ass motherfucking monologue that I just gave on, like, oh, well, lesbians versus, like, blah, 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 blah. But, like, for the first time ever, I felt represented in media. Like, I remember, like, watching films with my ex-boyfriend and, like, going to plays with my ex-boyfriend, and, like, every single one had a straight couple, and I was like, oh, wait a second, that girl is me, and that boy is you, and that's how we're supposed to be acting right now. And I don't like it. Also, your cishet boyfriend might be homophobic. Like, okay, story time. I was going to a car show with my ex, and he had a lot of friends who were showing up there that he wanted to introduce me to, which is like, okay, that's so cute. But at the same time, all of those friends were calling everything gay, including, like, their, like, one of the friends' haircut. They were like, that's so gay. And I think that I made a joke like, I'm sorry your barber's homophobic, or something like that, because that's what, that would be the line of gay jokes if you were a gay person. And they all just kind of gave me this look. What? And then as the day went on, I realized, oh shit, they're using gay as an insult. Like, literally at one point during the day, they called one of the cars at the car show gay because it had LEDs on it, and my ex-boyfriend literally said, yeah, it's pretty bad. And then, after that, when I told him, hey, I don't like that your friends are using gay as an insult, he was like, okay, yeah, I've really thought about it. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's gonna get it. This is gonna be an epiphany. And he was like, I just think that they were describing things, like, how they see them. And I was like, bitch! So that's my fun story time about my homophobic ex, who also was a little bit sexist. No, very sexist. It was bad. It was really bad. Never again. Moving on, some other things that I have learned about intersectionality over the years is that, like, some people who are even, like, a part of the group don't like using the label, like lesbians that don't like to call themselves lesbians, and I don't know why that is. None of my past partners have been in this camp, but, like, Jojo Siwa, Fletcher, and, like, those people might be bi. Even Girl in Red, who is, like, the lesbian, doesn't use the L word, apparently. And also, like, transness, it's not really something that I've ever thought about, because, I mean, as far as picking a partner is concerned, because, like, I'll take anyone, but, like, the current administration hates trans people so much more than, like, lesbians or bisexuals or the gays in general. Not to mention, you're also gonna experience transphobia from any of, like, the monosexual, as I like to call it, men and women out there. Like, lesbians who don't want to date trans women, or, like, men who don't want to date trans women, or the other way around. And even thinking about, like, non-binary people, like, what are they gonna think? Like, it's just, like, entering the dating game is so much harder because people are like, oh, I like men, or oh, I like women. And it's like, what are they gonna think of me being, like, non-binary? Like, are they gonna be like, what am I gonna have to say? Like, oh, I'm, like, kind of a woman, but kind of not really a man, or, like, whatever. Like, what am I gonna say to them, you know? Okay, so this is where this is coming back up, but, maybe I should just focus on my work for a little bit. I'm just gonna do this one stitch super quickly. Half an hour later, we finally finished the first row! Okay, do we have to move on? Okay, so there might be something that I need to tell you all about really what am I and my identity. So here's a super quick timeline. It is not comprehensive. I meant to add more, but didn't. So starting way back in 2016, I vividly remember making a post that's like, oh, like I want to dress butch, but I feel like I'm like appropriating butch culture, like one of those like classic red flags, like the lesbian who's like, oh, I just feel so bad about like appropriating lesbian culture, but I like really like women. But you know what? Even despite all this, it's like, I could still just be like butch. Like, I could just be a woman who likes to be a little bit masculine, and there's nothing wrong with that. So this is also something to consider, but like the vibes are more in the woman sort of place, even though like the presentation and the social role that I play are like a little bit more towards the center and like off to the side, I guess. Like that it still could be like I'm a woman, and even like with the presentation thing, like maybe I just don't really want to like be any, like maybe I don't want to like visually be any sort of gender. Okay, but like something else that you have to consider is like I was feeling more of a masculine role a little while ago and like looking more masculine, but recently I've been in a big girly pop era. So it's like, you know what? It might just be a phase. Look, I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. Like I don't understand why that's not a good enough answer for some people. Like I just don't know. I'm still figuring it out. Okay? I don't fucking know. Hello everyone, it's me, Cici, coming back at you with a little bit of an epilogue after that. This is a pride flag that one of my old partners gifted to me way back in the day. It is the pansexual pride flag, and I thought I'd whip it out. I'll deal with the gender thing in a whole other video because this is already like getting close to the 20-minute mark, and that's a little excessive for me. But I do want to take a second to talk about pride. We just had our big pride event in our town. It was a pride picnic and pet parade, and there were a lot of vendors there, and it was great. It went fantastic. Thinking about everything that's going on in this moment in history, it was so uplifting and refreshing to see people running around with their pride flags and being happy and joyful and celebrating the diversity of human experiences. I saw one kid running across the green with a bisexual pride flag in one hand and a pansexual flag in the other hand. There were a bunch of kids that came into my bookstore, and all of them had pride flags. One of them was very openly carrying a lesbian flag. One of my trans students that I saw that day actually made themselves asexual, agender gloves, and just giving them the space to be themselves and to celebrate who they are instead of making them feel ashamed of it. It was a beautiful thing, and I think that a lot of my viewers could stand to hear that good news. In other news, I did take apart the pot holder because I realized that I was doing the star stitch a little bit wrong, so stay tuned for a part 2 on that, possibly talking more about gender. But until then, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!